All right, Akim. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, for teaching us the truth. Salutations to the sincere Akim and Aquath may listen. May the blessing of election be upon your house. My name is Brother Okwai. I'm back in here with another quick and more as well as always an edifying lesson. And for today's lesson, I kind of wanted to do my little 2 cents in regards to a lesson that was done by the brothers in Montreal, right? And here's the clip here. I just wanted to, I was watching it, very, very good lesson, I was, and I kind of wanted to add in my little 2 cents in regards to this syndrome. It's actually a syndrome, actually. I was just looking it up. So here it says, wait for it to load. Okay, so armchair quarterback syndrome, also known as Dunning-Kruger effect, is an overbelief in yourself without the skills or expertise to back it up. You experience moments of high confidence and act as though you can, lacking self-awareness around whether or not you should. Based on my bar and sports, so this is person is giving a testimony. Based on my bar and sports watching research, and sadly at children's sporting events too, it says I can confidently say that 90% of the sports enthusiast population exhibits signs of arm quarterback syndrome on a weekly basis. You'll see that these people are when a call is made in a sports game from the referees, coaches, or players. They are the ones who loudly object, insisting that they would have made a different and better call. Sometimes this armchair quarterback feeling enables us to take bold steps and try things that are beyond our abilities, which creates experiences that help us grow. On the flip side, it can get us in trouble by allowing our opinions to dominate, regardless of the fact that we may not be the most knowledgeable in the room. The armchair quarterback exhibits a confidence that may attract or repel others and objects the image that we know more than we do, right? So so that's giving an outline of what it actually is. And why am I reading this? I'm reading this because this is the sentiment that a lot of our people actually exhibit, not in a sports arena. So we're taking the sports out of it, and we're actually replacing it with the understanding of a knowledge of who we are, that we learned, the doctrine that we learned from our apostles and elders on down. And we're taking that, and that's what we're applying it to. Because one of the things I've noticed with our people are very, very, essentially, they're professional scoffers. As a matter of fact, let me start with that. I didn't have that on my list here, but you know what? Let's go to, where is that? I think it's in Timothy 3:3. No, that's not it. Just bear with me on this. 1 second. Oh, okay. 2 Peter's 3 verse 3. And it says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts, right? So we live in a time where essentially, our people, especially our people mostly, I've noticed, we're living in a time where, we have different platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, social media, whatever it is that what it might be. And they use these platforms to essentially run their mouth against the prophets, scoff against the prophets, scoff at maybe whatever it is, their lack of understanding. They scoff at maybe their appearance. They scoff at, they may not be the most eloquent. I guess, well, when I say eloquent, I mean like very well spoken. Like they may not have maybe the largest vocabulary, whatever it is, right? So they scoff at, they take this as an opportunity to actually ridicule the message rather than actual absorbing what the message actually is. The Apostle Paul says this. Get that. Hold on. 2 Corinthians 11 verse 6, and it says, "But though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge, we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things." Right? So, the Apostle Paul's outlining, okay, you might be, the prophets might come off a very harsh way, but it doesn't mean that they're rude when it comes to knowledge. We have not shunned to declare you the entire counsel of the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? But our people take that as an opportunity to essentially, ridicule, scoff, essentially they kind of just use it as a platform to kind of make fun of the message rather than absorbing the message and asking questions. So that's what I'm saying. Like, our people, there's two things I notice our people lack is, proper etiquette, respect, etiquette, and, and even appreciation. That's another thing too, because our people can't appreciate something if they don't have respect as well. And our people don't have respect for the Heavenly Father, right? So I just want to bring out a couple precepts on that, and as Lord's will, as always, that this lesson may be edifying. Right? So let me touch on one of the points in regards to lack of appreciation. Right? So let's get... Okay, this is I'll start at... Okay, this is Numbers chapter 11, and I'll read down. So this is, and it says, "And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord Yahweh, and the Lord Yahweh heard it, and his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burnt among them, and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. And the people cried unto Moses. And when Moses prayed unto the Lord Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, the fire was quenched, and he called the name of the place of the Lord, of the place Taberah, because the fire of the Lord burnt among them. And the mixed multitude was, it says, that was among them fell a lusting. And the children of Israel also wept again, and said, Who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all besides this manna before our eyes. And the manna was as coriander seed, and the color thereof as the color of bdellium, right? So it's just going into the lack of appreciation, right? So it wasn't like our people were in the wilderness and they had absolutely nothing to eat. The Lord was providing for our people, right? And this was the point. They kept complaining, they kept murmuring, kind of like the sentiment you see today, where you see our people, they might murmur, they might scoff, against the prophets. You might go on a live, and they come on the live, and they take that as an opportunity to, make their comments, their vain opinions, so on and so forth. They take these opportunities to essentially, make a mockery of what's actually being done for you. And the prophets are giving out this for free. Right? This message, we the lessons we bring out, the sit downs, lessons, all these camp lessons are widely and freely available, right? This understanding was freely given to us, like the scriptures say, we have received, freely given, right? But our people, they take that as an opportunity to essentially kind of mock at it. So it shows the lack of appreciation our people have for this manna that is essentially being raining down. I'm using that in a spiritual sense as well, because part of Great Millstone, you have different brothers. You have brothers constantly putting up videos, to their that they go into in regards to their whether it's prophecy, whether it's self-development, it's character, it's brothers have expertise in health, herbs, whatever it is that you can find. Breakdowns. The apostles are always going through breakdowns, the history. All this manna is being given unto our people, and our people are essentially taking that message because they don't like the appearance of the actual messenger, right? Rather than actually taking in the message, right? If you go on TikTok, for example, and you type in, for example, let's just say like Hebrew Israelites, you see a lot of our people, they might see a camp, in a chief place of concourse in their nearby city or whatever it is, and they use that as as their way to essentially, become a keyboard warrior and scoff at the message rather than showing appreciation for the message. That's one of the reasons I'm bringing this out, right? And later on in this chapter, you see the Lord his anger was kindled again because the Lord fed us, with quails, right? And, eventually the Lord got very angry with us. So it shows the lack of appreciation our people have, towards this message, even up to this day, right? So that's one of the points I wanted to hit. One of the next points I wanted to hit was essentially judgment. That's another thing too. There's a story that came into my mind in regards to the ridicule. But before I go there, I wanted to get this point as well in regards to the lack of appreciation. So this is 2 Chronicles 36 verse 16, and it says, "But they mocked the messengers of the Most High and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai arose against his people until there was no remedy." Oh, Salakia, let me start at 15. Salakia. Let me just read 15. And it says, "And the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of their fathers sent unto them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending, because he had compassion on his people." So seeing the prophets out there is a sign of compassion, right? Because, you're seeing them in a time where they may be found. The scriptures say that seek the Lord while he may be found, right? Because there's going to be a time where, you won't find the prophets, right? And that's when the mercies, the doors of mercy are going to be completely closed, right? So that's the point, because seeing them is a symbol of compassion. And our people take that and they don't show appreciation for the Lord's compassion. The Lord is very compassionate, right? And that manifests by us actually being out there, right? Being on the streets, teaching in the chief places of concourse, putting up lessons and so on and so forth. This understanding was freely given to us, so we freely give it back, right? Let's see, and it says, "Because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. But they mocked the messengers of the Most High, despised his words, and misused his prophets, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people, until there was no remedy," right? So it just shows the mindset and the mentality our people have towards the message, right? When it comes to hearing the message and understanding, right? Our people are very essentially unappreciative. The next point I also wanted to make was etiquette. People they lack when it comes to certain things. Etiquette, proper manners and proper, like a way of doing things. They're very uncultured. We become a degenerate plant of a strange vine, right? So I just wanted to bring out this precept. I'm just picking out a couple points I took from the live lesson that I showed you. And I kind of just wanted to hit a couple points here and there with a couple precepts, right? So the next point I wanted to hit was the etiquette part, right? So this is Sirach 32, verse 9, and it says, "If thou be among great men, make not thyself equal to them. And when ancient men are in a place, use not many words," right? So it just goes to show, like, especially when our people are around, prophets, elders, when they hear about the message, if they come across them face to face on the street, our people don't show that sort of reverence, right? Because, these are men. That's why we always say, give a double honors to our apostles and elders, because, they were heavily toiling in this understanding for years, and they had to do a lot of the grunt work, right? Going to the library and looking up documents, way before YouTube was even around. And now it's so easy and so accessible. You have this platform where you're able to type in GMS. Say for example you want to learn about a breakdown in Revelation, for example. You can just type in the breakdown, the chapter, and you have loads of videos readily available for you to watch, right? Any time of the day, right? So, it just goes to show that our people don't show, again, lack of appreciation, but also they don't actually, reverence, the men who have come before them, right? So that's one of the things I wanted to kind of outline. The last thing I also wanted to outline was judgment as well, because our people don't seem to understand, the level of judgment that they show for when it comes to actually talking about the way they talk about certain men of renown, so to speak. So 1 second, where was I? So I just wanted to bring out an example of judgment. Let's see, where was it? Okay, so this is 2 Kings 2, verse 23, and it says, "And he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children, came out of the city and mocked him, and said to him, Go up, bald head, go up, bald head. And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood, and tear 42 children of them. And he went up from thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned to Samaria." We're talking about Elisha here, right? So it just goes to show the judgment, because our people don't seem to understand and piece together there's a judgment for the way you speak about, the prophets. But when our people see that, today, they kind of look down and scoff at the message. They scoff at how the messenger actually looks, right? There's a chapter in Samuel that, they were like, comest thou peaceably. Our people actually had a strong fear when it came to, when the prophets came around, right? But that fear essentially has gone away when you look at today and the way our people actually behave, right? So anyways, that's pretty much about it. I kind of wanted to just hit those couple points here. I could go a little bit more, but I kind of just wanted to hit those main points. But I sincerely pray that this lesson, was edifying, and our people, don't seem to have a strong reverence for the Heavenly Father and His Son, right? This is the type of world they're very, very prideful in their message and in their opinion. The scriptures say, "Don't lean upon your own understanding, and even subdue your own understanding," right? That you might find mercy, to roughly paraphrase. So anyways, I guess I'll leave it there, but hopefully this was edifying. Just like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim El Shai. Till next time, Shalom.